live. Hold on. We're back here with Mike, and we're getting ready to go over the outside of the mobile home repairs.
A lot of things people don't realize is these balusters right here. These are supposed to be maximum 4 inches wide. This is a safety issue per Trek that kids can get head stuck in there. So if you're buying one of these, selling one of these, or especially if you're renting any one of these, you want to make sure you cover this up. Now, what would be the easiest way to repair this?
Add an extra one.
No, the easiest way is to just put some of the lattice structure on there. Buy it by the panel, cut it off, just bail and wire it on there. You're good to go. Yeah. The other thing is windows. As you can see, just hex head screws, pretty easy to repair and replace. You're going to take them in and out. Things I look for is to make sure there's no gaps, leaks. Make sure it's supposed to have, like on top of here, they typically have a little bit of flashing on there to divert it from the top of the window.
It's on top of the roof.
You can see that they've got a little bit of a metallized foil tape on there. If it works, it works. So make sure you got this pretty sealed. Make sure the screen's working, the window's open. A lot of times you'll see decks on here. If you're selling these, obviously FHA may not. I don't know if even FHA doesn't do this.
They won't do it.
If you're putting a deck in, you want to look underneath there and make sure you don't have a lot of termite damage to those piers that are holding this deck up. A lot of times they'll either space mount too far or they're just rotted to nothing. So you got to have a little bit of look at that. Skirting. Thing I look for on skirting there is more in the rural areas. Sometimes, like I said earlier, you'll have those holes that'll indicate some rodents or critters are getting underneath there. If you see a lot of them, there's going to be some issues underneath where they've dug into that sheeting underneath there that holds the insulation in, or they're just making a home underneath there. The other thing I look for is the clean outs there.
Now everybody crawl under the house.
Yeah.
I can tell you that a weed eater will clean that stuff up real fast.
Clean outs, whenever you have a penetration through the skirting here, if you've got a big open area, that's where critters are going to be coming in and out of, so that's another indication I look for. You want to keep these things sealed up as much as you can because you want to keep the animals out. Siding, make sure there's not a lot of bowing, a lot of hail damage. One of the things that, again, when you start getting into the meters, always touch the meter with the back of your hand. I opened up a panel, literally 3/4 of an inch from 220 wire and was touching the live. Because we open this up, and look what we have here. No panel, no dead front. Where is it? Right on the ground there. We got hornets in here making nests. So these are the kind of things, the safety issues you want to keep your kids away from. But always touch these panels with the back of your hand. So if it is energized, you're not gripping onto it. Okay.
And the park's responsible for this stuff.
Sure. The other thing is propane. Propane tanks here. You'll do just a general inspection on those, but that's a whole nother installation that propane company will come out and do and make sure they've got the right tank, the right pressures, and also got the no leaks on there.
And that's natural gas from the city.
Natural gas, yeah. So I'm talking more for the rural areas.
Right.
They'll have that.
This one does not have natural gas.
Right here.
That's all the park's responsibility.
A lot of times if you have a gas connection, sometimes inside, outside, if you're not using those, they'll want to see those capped as well, even though they're not functional. Here's this little plate we're talking about. You've got your serial number, manufacturer, and all pertinent information related to it. This is how you track these things. When you actually file for title, they're going to want to know this number, so you need to look for that plate. Sometimes they're not on there, so you're going to have to do it.
What happens if they're not on there?
Start digging around a little bit.
Actually, the TDHCA site, there are mobile homes that don't have tags, and you just have to pay for a new tag. They'll actually create a new tag for you.
But how do you track it if it doesn't have that?
You can't.
Oh.
A lot of these things. Now, the other thing is, on the tags, nowadays, this has just changed in the last 2 years. The TDHCA will give you an SOL, which is a statement of location. You have to pay that every time you transfer ownership, and they will not give you one of those unless you make sure all the back taxes are paid. I mean, they're very.
What's the cost of that?
For a double wide, I believe it's 55 for a single. I think it's 110 for a double.
Okay.
But you have to actually register these things now.
And there's not a location for that elsewhere, like in a car, the VIN number.
No, it's always on the outside.
That's it. One place only, no hidden location.
Double wide, there's 2 of them.
Hey Mike, so it's got to be a ground fault?
Should be a ground fault indicator. It's supposed to have a cover over here, and we push your tester in there and trip that. It should be a reset on the outside or the inside.
Cut off.
That's your main cutoff for your air conditioner. That's good to go.
And this over here.
That's just a sewer clean out. That's every house has those.
As you can see, they don't have huge air conditioning units.
What was on here? Was this a? Looks like something was stuck on there.
Explain those.
This right here is the dryer vent. They've actually foamed up there. You can actually see on the inside.
That's just to keep the animals out.
Yeah, keep the critters out. This punch these out pretty easily. If not, you can just pull these out and put a new one in here. Obviously, you want to have a deck here with a handrail coming down the side. Just don't put the cheesy wood on there. I'm gonna put my sunglasses on. It's a little bright.
Whoever buys it can do that.
Yeah, whoever buys it can do that, but make sure you have these out. Or you walk out there, could get hurt. Doors are pretty inexpensive. Doorknobs are just regular doorknobs. And the big thing you want to look for is just make sure your ridge vent on the or your ridge overhang is good, so you don't get a lot of water inside the top part of the trailer. Make sure the skirting is good all along here. You don't see any major holes. A lot of times the weed eaters will chew those up.
This is the tongue right here, covered up. Talked about earlier. So, as we wrap up real quick on this outdoor inspection of it, this mobile home, hope you've learned a lot. Make sure you're checking out the rest of this tour. We're going to have some more slides up here in a little bit, videos for this YouTube. And hope you guys, if you ever need a good property inspector here in the Fort Worth, Dallas area, give Mike a call.
This right now, I put hardy board all over. You just paint the hardy board before you put it up, and just cut it to whatever.
And we'll call that a video.